We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Hey, this is Jim Breuer.
Okay. Hey, what's going on there, Mikey?
What's happening, man?
Another day, another day.
That's right.
That's right. Another day, another. We're off to the races.
Always.
How you been with? Are you on social media a lot? You been doing good with that, or?
I mean, I'm on it as far as, researching stuff for the show, or, every now and then I'll just go brain rot and just sit on TikTok for
Sure.
however long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm gonna try to see. I think I told you I've been getting up every morning, walking on the beach every morning, and just kind of chilling out. It's been really
Are you walking over by the area where you're at now?
Yeah, Naples Beach.
Yeah, because I know you've brought me over there once before, and it was beautiful beach.
It's a really nice beach. It's it's super peaceful in the morning before it gets too nutso and all that jazz. So what do we got? We have so for those of you who watched Flat Earth Dave, when he came on, he said, "Listen, I didn't understand a lot of things he said. Certain things resonate with me, but I can't get into numbers and all that. I'm tuning out. It's once you start, I went to school. I hated school. So if you the map and the 20 and the angle, I'm out. I'm not listening. Gravity. What is gravity? That's what they told you in school. I can't believe anything they taught you anymore, because I don't even think a child is supposed to be in a classroom. They're not. It's conditioning. That's all it is. It's conditioning. And if you don't go along with the condition, they say your condition is ADHD, which means basically they're going to give you drugs to pay attention to their system. And that's, you can try to debate that all you want. Sorry, but that's the way it is. So I have someone on here who's going to come on, and wants to prove that flat Earth is absolute nonsense, and it's nonsense. So again, I'm all ears, and I'd love to hear what he has to say. I'm assuming that Flat Earth Dave is driving him bonkers, and a lot of people bonkers. That's why I had I had my friend Dave on, and another guy on, engineers and science, and they kept going back and forth, and it's a conversation. It's like hanging out in the backyard, and that's all this is. That's all this is. Are we going to accomplish what is what? For some of you, yes. For others, no. But I am curious, and I'm super excited to listen. So please welcome Mr. Craig McNeil. What's up, Craig?
Hi, Jim. How you doing? Absolute pleasure to be here.
Where are you from, Craig?
I'm from Bristol originally, but I now live in Scotland. Ended up staying here after meeting my wife up here when I was in the Navy, and it's cold all of the time.
I don't know how you do. I love Scotland.
It's a beautiful country, absolutely gorgeous country, but it is cold and rainy, 99% of the time.
I know.
Yeah, we're getting a loop back.
We're getting a loop back, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah. That's probably my mic. One sec. Sorry, is that better?
Oh my God, Craig, 10 times better.
Yep.
Apologies. I was streaming earlier with somebody and I forgot to change the settings for that. My bad.
All good, Craig. So you're in Scotland, you said.
Yes, yeah. It's a very cold and rainy place that I really love to be in. Yes, it's absolutely gorgeous here. I'm really glad to talk to you, Jim. You're actually in one of my favorite movies from the early 2000s. You played an alien chef that didn't like that humans put ketchup on their food.
Oh my God.
Titan
A&E?
AE. Titan AE, yeah. I think you got blown up by an energy creature in that, right?
I think so. You know, that was my first kind of bummer experience into the voiceover world, and I'll tell you why. Because there's some great names in that film, and I think it was one of the first voiceovers I did. So when I went there, I thought everyone's there. I'm like, oh, Matt Damon's gonna be here, and this one's gonna, and we're all in the room and we're bantering with one another. I was so bummed when I'm like, go in there in that little room, and you're in this little room.
Oh, they
like,
just shut you in a cupboard.
Yeah, they put you in the cupboard, and you're just staring at a screen. I'm like, I'm not gonna hang out with Matt Damon. I'm not gonna hang out with all this stuff. Oh,
There's no cast parties or anything?
Yeah, like what's up with that? There's no,
No way.
Yeah. So, wow, that's so fun. It's so obscure. That's very obscure.
It's one of my favorite movies. I'm an absolute nerd, always have been, and I think it's a great sci-fi and animation movie. And I just remember seeing your name in the credits one of the several times that I've watched it, and now the fact that I'm talking to you, I think that's pretty cool.
It is very cool. I'm glad I'm talking to you. How incredible are we in society now, where here you are in Scotland, here I am in the US, and we're having conversations that possibly the entire world, people from everywhere now listen. And the world truly is smaller than everyone anticipates.
Oh yeah.
Now whether it's flat or circle, that's what we'll get into.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I definitely want to get into that because you brought on Flat Earth Dave, and I want to be frank with you, Jim. He lied to you about pretty much everything that he said. Not just him being wrong. He told you things that he personally knows that are lies. And the reason that I'm saying this is because the only way that you can actually push Flat Earth and have Flat Earth is if you lie about things. If you lie about basic physics. If you lie about observations. There was points in that presentation that he gave you where he did very sneaky things, like when he was showing you a perspective view with a mountain and a guy, and he was like, well, the mountain's higher than the guy. And then he moved the mountain back. What you didn't notice was that he actually dropped the mountain down and pretended that he was just moving it back. And lots of deceptive things like that. So I wanted to go through, I've chosen 5, and one of my friends who also does the same thing that I do on YouTube called MC Toon is going to come on and go through a few things as well. We've each chosen 5 things that Dave said that we want to explain to you why they're not just wrong, but why you were lied to.
All right, well, before we get into that, here's my biggest thing. Why... The water fascinates me. Water always finds flat. We agree on that?
Well, level it would be the right
Correct.
term.
The word is level. Okay.
Yeah.
So even when we are like if someone's building, right? We use some like this, I don't know the correct terms, and we use water to level it out and to make sure everything's flat. Why doesn't that water move if we're spinning that quickly, and water naturally always finds a flat surface? Why do we use like liquid inside something that will find the flat? And then I can see from here to over there, it's flat. Like, why isn't that water moving, but just the oceans do?
Well, the oceans move obviously because of tides, and waves and different temperatures moving the water around.
Sure.
But the reason why we would use a water level is because there's an acceleration pulling everything down towards the ground. And wherever you are on the ground, Wherever you are on the Earth, that acceleration is pulling you straight down to your feet. And whether that means that the Earth is flat or round, it will always pull you down. And if it's round, that means towards the middle of something. So water will always be pulled towards the lowest potential that it can have. There is something that makes things go down, and whether the Earth is flat or round, it's still making the water go down. Now, the thing is with water level, that locally, just for you, if you've got it in front of you, yeah, it's going to seem it's just flat. But if you had another water level that's 20 miles away, it's not going to be exactly the same to this. It will be slightly like that. But for that person where they are, it's still, level to them. Because the force that we call gravity, the thing that makes the acceleration, is pulling everything towards the center of the Earth at the same time. Water is like anything else in the universe, Jim. It just reacts to forces that are acting on them. And in regards to the Earth, the rotation, the way that you got to think about the rotation is that it takes 1 day to do one full rotation. So if I sat here in my chair and I span round 360 degrees, but I took a whole day to do that, that's how fast the Earth is actually spinning.
Okay.
I mean, it's easy to, get bogged down in the weeds of misconceptions, because you think of it being big numbers, the Earth has a speed that is, to our mind, imperceptibly big. But when you look at the scale of the things that we're talking about and the forces involved because of the speeds, it's actually very little. Like, you can sit on an airplane going hundreds of miles an hour, and your cup of coffee is just going to sit next to you, not doing anything, right? You don't feel like you're going hundreds of miles an hour. And if you jump up in that airplane, you don't get thrown to the back of the airplane at hundreds of miles an hour, because you and everything else in that plane are moving the same speed as the plane. Now, us on here on Earth, we are all moving the same speed as the Earth. The water, the coffee in our hand, everything is moving the same speed as the Earth.
Okay. I see that. I understand that. That makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense. Again, you're talking to someone really dumb with this stuff. So that actually is very helpful for me. Exactly like you said, like being on the plane.
But I mean, I don't think you have to call yourself dumb in it. There's nothing wrong with not having knowledge. I think, people think that being ignorant is a bad thing. It's not necessarily. It just means you don't know something. And like you said yourself, you didn't really pay attention at school and stuff. You didn't care about the numbers and the physics. So you never really thought about the way that it works. Whereas me, I was a total nerd. I was the guy sitting at the front of the class paying attention as much as possible,
As long as you didn't make them pull out the homework when you were at the end of the class and they said, wait a minute, do we have homework?
Jim, here's what I did. I was a nerd and I love playing video games. So I didn't want to do homework at home. So before I left school, I would do my homework then and leave it on the teacher's desk, so I didn't need to bother about it when I got home.
Okay.
Then I could go home and play Mortal Kombat 3, right?
Yes, I like that. Okay, so show the examples that obviously Flat Earth Dave really bothered you, or you're like, you know what, I can't believe he's saying that or doing that or whatever.
Would it be okay if we brought on MC Toon as well? Because he's got one very important thing which we would like to start first.
Yes, bring him on. First of all, I have to like him immediately because he's got a Metallica shirt on. Did you purposely do that?
I'm a little bit of a top of the pile shirt kind of guy, and so yesterday was AC/DC. Today's Metallica. I don't have my favorite, the Megadeth, because when I went to see him, the shirt was like $60. So
$60. Yeah, you know what? Well, I could say this about the shirts at concerts, just from someone who tours myself. The venues are disgusting. Like, I have to fight with a venue nonstop to get them down to 10, 15. They want 20 to 30% right out of the gate. And if it's a union place like New York City, They want 40% of your money before you sell a
Of
dollar. So yeah, of all your merch. So like if I show up and I go, I normally sell my shirt for $20. Now they're taking $9. Well, it cost me XYZ to make it, and I had to ship it here, and I got to pay my seller. They're disgusting, the venues, and it's a really bummer because bands are the ones that they get looked at for selling it. But
Yeah.
from learning this firsthand, I can't. The venues should have no right taking money from bands that sell their own merch. But anyway, I'm sorry you didn't get a Megadeth shirt. Have you seen Metallica live?
I have.
Where are you? You're not from Scotland.
I'm in Minneapolis, so I saw them at the Target Center here a few years ago.
With me opening.
There was no opener for this this particular tour.
Was this the Hardwired to Self-Destruct?
No, it's Death Magnetic.
Ah, okay. Wow, that was a long time ago. That was like over 10 years ago.
Yep.
That was yes. Okay. All right, very good.
So, Jim,
Now,
MC Toon in December is actually going to Antarctica to test a flat Earth claim. Flat Earthers quite often say that, there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So someone that we know called Will Duffy has organized what's called the final experiment, where some flat earthers and some globers are actually going to Antarctica to test these claims. MC Toon is one of these people. Interestingly, Dave Weiss was offered a free trip to Antarctica. Toon, what did he say to that?
He said no to a free trip.
why not?
No.
Did he say why? I will ask him. I will ask him.
He'll tell you that he didn't want to go because we're demons. Apparently, he was scared of demons. He's such a religious guy.
Those were his words.
He's not
his actual words.
Yeah, not a religious guy.
So he said. Who asked him, and who did he respond to?
Pastor Will Duffy.
Pastor Will Duffy.
Yeah.
Asked Flat Earth Dave if he would go to Antarctica, and
Fully paid for and everything.
Yep. And Flat Earth Dave said no because, quote, "you're all demons."
Exactly.
A paraphrase. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Let's see here. I got it.
Okay.
This REI box I have here. I just went last night to get all the gear.
Nice.
Okay. So
Now,
when are you going to Antarctica? Go ahead. Go ahead. What were we gonna say?
There was one thing that Dave did a lot when he was on your show, and that was push his app and say how everyone should get his app and look at the flat earth stuff on it, right? This for me was a big problem, Jim, because it turns out recently that there's actually been some severe issues with that app. Not only does it not do what is advertised, i.e. tell you the position of the sun and the moon correctly, that's all been debunked. But there's been some severe issues, and as Dave pushed that to your audience, we thought it was appropriate that we should explain the issues with it. And Toon has been doing a deep dive into this. So Toon, over to you.
Yeah, I've worked in security, not security, in IT all my career. And so security is a major part of it. I write email filtering software. I stop spammers and scammers from getting emails to people. So 3 years ago, almost, Dave was informed that it had some security problems. He didn't fix it. He just renamed the thing so that people didn't know the name anymore, but he didn't do anything to fix it. Recently, some security professionals and researchers have identified issues with it and tried to contact him, but his email address on his website bounced. The email address doesn't even exist. I did a video on it a week ago today saying that every single person who has ever used the app, their email address, username, location, gender, street address if they entered it, and password in the clear can be extracted with nominal effort. He has not fixed it today, right now, at this very moment. The same things can be downloaded.
And to make that, so you understand, it's as simple as you can go to a website, request information, i.e. username, password, location, and you can find the houses of people that have signed up to this app. It's there, and there's nothing protecting it. Normally when you have passwords, on a server, they'd be behind some level of protection, some kind of hashing. They're not. They're stored in plain text. Anybody that has used that app, including your viewers that have downloaded it because they've said to, have had their details leaked to the world. And it's very important that they uninstall that app as fast as possible. And we're not saying this just because it's an anti-flat earth thing. It's a security issue thing. And you've got a lot of viewers, Jim, and you know, for Dave to push an unsecure app like that onto your viewers, I thought was very unfair on you.
Okay, fair point. Fair point.
So it's Dave has really tried to kind of cover up this. He called it a nothing burger last week on Thursday, leaking
A nothing burger?
literally said nothing burger twice in an interview in reference to this. This is in the security world.
Sounds like Kamala Harris. Go ahead.
This is as bad as it gets in the security world. He knows about the issue. People have told him. He has not fixed it. He called it a nothing burger and has downplayed the fact that it is leaking things. So I would assume you haven't installed it, and that would be good, because if you had, then your location would have been leaked.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't install. I don't download any apps. I don't get into the whole app thing. Like, if it doesn't matter. If I became best friends with the president, and he's download it, even though I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not downloading it.
We just thought it was important. Whether or not you believe in the flat earth, it's highly important that, you know, your information isn't out there like that. And if someone that has watched your channel did download that and used their password in that they happen to use for other things, it's vitally important that they change their passwords on absolutely everything, like immediately.
Well, let me ask you this. Because Craig and MC Toon, you seem very, I'll say right now the word concerned.
Yeah.
What do you think there's what do you think the true motive is? Because I'm going to assume.
Do you want me to be candid? I'll be as absolutely honest as you like. Right. MC Toon will completely agree with this. For Dave Weiss, it's because it's a grift. It's a scam. I am 100% convinced that Dave Weiss knows the earth is not flat, but he has made money and a following selling his app and telling people the earth is flat. And he can't stop that now, because he told you himself he quit his job. He changed his life to do this. He's so deep into it that no matter what, he can't stop doing it. Toon, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
He 100. Yeah, he did say that. He did say that, which I thought was very interesting. I thought that was interesting as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know if I think that he's convinced one way or the other, but I think it may be a little bit of a psychological blockage to not acknowledge it. The app that is his app uses the globe for everything. The friend finder thing where you can see everybody's position, that's a Google map. Everything about that is the globe. It uses the tilt of the earth inside the app. It uses the time that the sun will set and rise based on globe geometry. So everything about the app related to the shape of the earth is globe earth based. If it were really a flat earth app, he would insist on only using flat earth knowledge and flat earth geometry to build the app. He would get that from flat earth researchers and give that information to the developer so that they could develop the app using only flat earth knowledge, but he did not.
No.
Let me ask you, all right, offbeat question. Is there, besides him, people that have brought this, they say, no, I'm telling you right now, it's definitely, this is why we think it's flat. Are there people that you've seen out there go, you know what? That's an interesting case, and this person really means it, and they're really coming from a place that makes a lot of sense, although I highly disagree, and this is why I disagree.
Do you mean that is there people that are actually genuine about the flat earth? Yeah, yes. I think there is some.
With really good facts
not that. Honestly, there's no good facts around the flat earth. There is nothing that, if you look at, holds up to scrutiny, and that is the main crux of why Toon and I are here. We really want to go through some of the things that Dave said to you, which on first observation and first listen with kind of, a passing interest might seem like they make sense. But once we explain the very basic reasons why they're a lie, we hope that you will see that the only way you can really give facts about the flat earth is if you lie about what facts are.
Got you. So you're 100% absolutely no way, impossible. It's not going down no matter who comes out and tries to put that out there. Okay.
For me, I've measured the Earth's rotation. MC Toon has measured the curvature of the Earth. These are experiments that are done all of the time by every physics student in the world that has a bachelor's degree has to do an experiment called Foucault's pendulum to measure the rotation of the Earth. It's part of it, or at least in the UK and the US. The measuring the rotation of the Earth, the fact that it moves and it's a sphere, is something that is kind of fundamental to a lot of physics that we understand. Artillery fire and things like that, they take into account the rotation of the Earth, and these are things that people like Flat Earth Dave will either ignore or just lie about. And that's why MC Toon and I, we fight so hard against what we consider dangerous misinformation and sometimes absolute hilarious stupidity.
There's a lot of laughing.
Right, Jim, I want to tell you just before we get into the weeds, one of the first times I spoke to a flat earther was a guy that called himself Flat Earth Jesus, right? And he told me, unironically, that the moon was dug out of the Grand Canyon by giants, then it was melted into quartz. While it was still hot, they filled it with helium. That's why there's craters on it, because it was bubbles popping. And then they put it in the sky to mock us for worshipping the sun. And he told me that whilst calling me stupid. This is flat Earth for you.
This is great pub talk too.
But
I would love to hear this.
There's another guy that thinks that the moon used to be a dog's chew toy, a giant, a mythical dog. That guy's name is Why You're an Idiot, or just you call him by his surname, Mr. Idiot.
But don't you think don't you think that's also just someone trying to make money or trying to get attention or try to get followers or something like that?
Neither of those guys.
No, neither of those were in a position to actually make money out of what they do. They're not popular enough, but they still say these things with all the conviction in their soul. So,
go ahead.
I chose 5 things, and Toon chose 5 things.
Okay.
And we just went. They won't take long to go through them. It's because the fact is the lies are very simple to debunk. So I'd like to give the floor to Toon first to start it off with whatever one of Dave's things that he said and how easy it is to debunk.
All right.
Okay.
So he talked about the Battle of the Beams, Knikabine from World War II. So it's Knikabine. There's no R in it. Just be aware of that. It was these super powerful, very tall in the beam construction. So when you make a radio wave, you can construct the propagation to be tall, wide, circular. So it was a super tall beam that was sent across from Germany into England.
Okay, to send out airwaves.
Yeah, and then another beam was sent elsewhere, and then where they intersected was where they were supposed to drop the bombs over Dover. So this is in England. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So he talked about.
Now is that true?
Yes, it was marginally successful, but it was.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So Dave didn't think he didn't think it was possible, and so I want to play his little part here because it's pretty good. I'm gonna share my screen here.
I love that you did the homework and like you're showing me and showing the listeners this part compared to that part, because otherwise it would be lost. Okay, this is good.
All right, so I have it ready if your producer wants to put it up.
Because I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of times where I was like, I can't keep up with this.
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
He gave you a lot.
He was talking very fast, and it was way too much. So way too much.
Here's what he said. You'll see right on screen there. He misspelled Knikabine, so he's really getting his details here.
Okay.
Oh, there's no audio tune.
Yeah, there's no audio on that.
Okay, hold on.
So can Knickerbein line of sight? All right, I do remember.
And it it's funny how he gets everything wrong. Oh, I know why this isn't. All right, Craig, you go first. I'll have to rearrange.
Go ahead,
Right,
Craig.
okay. All right, I'll go first. All right, no worries.
Craig,
balloon, 120.
Sorry, yeah. Dave said to you.
So here's a balloon, 120,000 feet in the air. That's about as high as we can get.
You hear that, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
120,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And every time we send a balloon up this height, the sun's right there. It's like it's never above us. Like that's only 20 miles. Right? And there's a hot spot here, right? It's not as bright over here. How is the sun 93 million miles away and only lighting up that spot?
The reason I started with that one is because it's so stupid. He's trying to convince you that the sun is right there. But it's just a matter of looking at things in perspective. And I'm going to show you that by putting this up. So this is a program called Solar System Scope, and it's literally a model of the solar system in 3D, okay? And he's trying to say that because the sun is just there, it's local. But all we've got to do, if we look at Earth from space, all we've got to do is we turn the camera to where the sun is, and look, the sun's just there, Jim, just like he said. Right. You see, but it's not just there. It's just because of the way you're looking at it. And these are the kind of lies and simplicities that Dave tries to push as evidence against the globe, when all you've got to do is think just a little bit. Yeah, he's right. The sun is just there, but that's because of the angle you're looking at it. And why is there a hot spot? Well, because it's not a hot spot, it's a reflection. Most of the Earth is covered in clouds and water, and the sun will reflect off of that. And there can be something in the distance which will still reflect off the water. You know, you can stand at the beach and see the sun, and no matter where you are, the sun's reflecting in front of you. It doesn't mean that area is hot, it's just reflecting. So this is what Dave and other flat earthers try to do. They try to push something as simple as, oh look, the sun's right there, without showing you the whole story, that it's not, it's in space.
Got it.
It's as simple as that. And that's the kind of thing that annoys me about when Dave Weiss comes on and does things like this, because he pushes that as an absolute fact and a proof that the Earth is flat and the sun is close, when all you got to do is think just a little bit outside. And then what he said is just so stupid now.
Are you able to hear this? Oh, I didn't know you guys could hear this. This is great. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? I have some friends hanging out in here. Do you have any questions on it? Okay. No, this is great. They're laughing too. I got a peanut gallery in here. They're all laughing.
See, that was the first thing he said to you. That was his first. Oh, look, straight away, Jim. Here's total evidence. But you see how he so easily lies to you.
It's I can't. I won't call him a liar and all that, but I will say, yes, it comes on so fast. It's like before you can even. You're like, yeah. Oh, I see it. Yep, it's done. Yep, I got it. So it's like it's a fast presentation. So it's before you could even really grasp anything. So all right. So go ahead. I'm not. I had weird. I didn't know what to expect here, but this is okay. All right. Keep going. Keep going.
All right, tune over to you, my friend.
Mine's ready.
Okay. Can you guys see this too? Okay. Okay. So Knickerbein, you're saying is all right. Go ahead.
Did the audio come through?
Yes.
Yeah. So to remember, this was Germany crossing signals so that they could bomb over England. Very important.
Which is mind-boggling.
Is what they used in the war to bring airplanes, to get airplanes to their location in the dark. And what it was a line of sight signal, and the airplane flies along that signal. If it goes left or right of the signal, it goes beep, 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 and when they get to the center, it's like beep, and they know they're on the line, right? Yeah. The problem was it didn't tell them when they were crossing the target. It just kept them on a straight line. So they get another one, and it would cross where they wanted to hit. So when they hear both signals, they know to drop the bombs, right? And the first thing is the Allied command said, you can't do it. It's not going to work. The Earth's curvature is going to block it. But then some admiral goes, no, do it anyway. Do it anyway, right? And because Earth curve. So we found one of the transmitters, which is 205 feet above the ground. So it's in Ringstead, and the target was in Monte Gormendi, whatever it is, and that was at 3,631 feet. At that distance, right, 515 miles.
He said the transmitter is in England, and the destination, the target was in Spain, is what he's saying.
There should be a hidden height of 129,000 feet. That's almost 25 miles. 25 miles behind the curve. But for some reason, that they could see that. So the airplane would fly along, beep, 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 and then it would hit the other signal, and it would know to drop the bombs because those two signals are going there. There is no Glober explanation for this.
So he said the transmitter was in Ringstead, which is in England. Germany did not control England. Germany was bombing England, and he said the target was in Spain. So anyway, there is a transmitter in Ringstead that was built in 1963. So somehow the Germans in 1963, from 1940s, controlled the future to transmit from England in 1963 south, and then have a plane coming from Portugal, not from Germany, from Portugal, bomb. Well, the target I thought was Spain, but now the target is somewhere in France. So everything about this is completely wrong. Dave had no clue what he's talking about. Now, Dave has, right, he never does any research. He just takes what other people says, and he just like repeats it without looking into it at all. So Nicobine did exist, and it did have things that people could have valid questions about. But this whole thing that he gave you was just a big confusing mess. Not at all based on reality. So the reality was that that the ionosphere bounces these waves. It had been known about for decades before World War II. A guy named T.S. Eckerly had written papers on it in 1930, 1937. They consulted with him during the war, and they said, "Is it possible?" He said, "I think it's possible." And that wasn't an admiral. He said there was an admiral that said it. It wasn't an admiral. It was Eckersley, a British guy. And he said, yes, possible. Turns out it was possible. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
So explain that to me now. They figure out where to bomb through airwaves?
Yeah.
Explain that to me. That's
so highly directed radio waves, which is completely possible. You see, dishes all the time, radio dishes. And those go in a circle, right? They in a cone. You can construct the antenna so that it creates a giant vertical wave in propagation. So and that's what they did. So is this basically this kind of wedge thing, like a piece of pizza coming out from the antenna, and so it's get really tall as it went over the land. So the really high waves bounce off the ionosphere, and then the low waves, they just keep going. So the plane goes from reading the direct signal to reading the reflected waves without knowing a difference in it.
You know, it's mind-boggling that we have homeless people and they know how to figure out airwaves to control people and to bomb people. And there's energy, and there's probably energy. I totally believe, off subject, that there's free energy that they keep from us, that we know how to use, that we know that we've been using, that they hide from us all. But the fact that in that time and age, they're using airwaves, which no one really thinks about.
Radio waves. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the power of that, I don't think any human truly understands the power and what's that's capable of doing when you control those waves. That's
you probably wouldn't want to stand directly in front of the antenna.
They'll cook you.
No. No. But
the point is that there is the radio waves are a thing we've been using for a long time.
Forever.
We can listen to stuff across the world, and the way that it works, like Toon says, is our atmosphere has areas that reflect radio waves back and down. So Dave's trying to push that as, oh, here's proof that the Earth's flat, otherwise they couldn't go, ignoring the physics of how it works, whilst saying that the Germans apparently had time travel in 1945. So wonderful.
I'll be fair to Dave. I think he got deeply confused about it, and he was talking about something else.
Yeah. But this is kind of what Dave and other flat earthers do. They will see something that they think, oh, well, that's proof. And they won't check it in any way, shape, or form. They will just add it to their dumb presentations and find someone who maybe doesn't want to think about it too much.
I want to get you two in the same room. Have you guys ever been?
Oh, he won't speak to us. No, you mention our names to Dave Weiss, and he runs. There's literally a Dave-shaped hole in the wall.
Dave was on a podcast live last week on Thursday, and he tweeted about it. So I went to the live stream, and I was in the chat, and I emailed the people. I said, hey, let me on. As soon as they said, oh, we're going to bring in somebody, he's like, I'm out. He really failed.
Well, because he can't hold a conversation with us because he knows that we know his stupid script.
Well, it's very interesting. I will say Mike, we still there? Mike?
I'm still here.
Mike?
I'm
still here.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
You're good.
My screen went blank. So I will say he was very concerned about bringing, quote, others on, because I wanted to my friends, engineer and blah, blah, blah. And I noticed he was very like, well, I don't have a lot of time, and I want to get into a lot, and I want to let's not spend a lot of time with those guys. And it was very rapid fire. And I kept trying to slow the process down. I wasn't very good at it, but
no, he just wants to spout nonsense at you and not give you a chance to think about it.
Okay. All right. I'm all ears right now. I'm all ears.
This next one, Jim, for me is something that I know personally that I have told him is wrong. Right.
Okay, Craig. All right.
Okay. He said this.
But in all of history, never have two stars changed positions due to motion. You know how things change positions? parallax, right?
Right.
When you move, things change positions, right? Things closer, you move faster. Things farther away, move slower. They say, but no two stars have ever changed positions, ever. That alone, once you understand what that means that the stars are fixed. They're perfect, they're like angels, and they don't ever change.
Right. Taken is about 3.5 seconds of going to Google and finding this. So this is Bernard's star, one of the closer stars to us. So its real motion relative to other stars is very noticeable. Dave said to you that no star has ever crossed path another star, ever. This star, since you and I have been alive, Jim, has gone past, by my count, 7 different stars. All it takes is 10, 15 seconds of Googling, and that is how you debunk the majority of flat Earth claims. Now, either Dave forgot that I've told him about this, either he didn't believe it, or he kept it in his presentation because it's an easy lie to get past if nobody checks. It's not just this star either. There's lots of stars that you can see the movement of them. In fact, if you go to the website mctoon.net/Polaris, you can look at centuries of nautical almanacs that sailors use to chart the moving position of stars, because sailors use the stars to navigate. So knowing where the stars are is vitally important to that process. And over the years, the stars, although we might not see it because it's so slow, over the years, the stars do change position. And if the North Star isn't always in exactly the same place, then they need to know that. Otherwise, when they do navigation, they're going to get it wrong. And the fact that for centuries, sailors have been charting the changing position of stars, and now with telescopes, we can easily look at something like this and see that Bernard's star, its real motion is actually really, really obvious. It boggles the mind why someone like Dave Weiss will say something that is so easily debunked with literally 15 seconds of checking on the internet.
Okay, I'm sure you guys have more.
Yeah, Toon, over to you.
All right.
Look, you're so excited. I love how excited Craig is.
Oh, I love this. This is, I do this for a living, Jim. This is what I do, and it's the best job I could ever imagine.
What do you do? What do you do, Craig?
I'm a YouTuber. I'm a full-time YouTuber. I'm an ex-Royal Navy nuclear engineer, but I'm injured because of my service. So I spend my time doing YouTube now, and it's the best thing I could ever do.
Okay.
All right, I'm sharing my screen.
And what about you?
I got the next
What about you, MC?
I write email filtering software. So I've spent my career blocking scammers. So when I saw Flat Earth,
You said that.
when I saw Flat Earth, I'm like, that's what I do for a living. Those are the same scams, just packaged differently.
All right. Okay.
All right, I've got a video here. This is starts with you. So first of all,
Okay.
I'll say in 1958, NASA was founded. It was founded by Congress by writing a bill and signed into law by Eisenhower. And the first administrators were Keith Glennon and Hugh Dryden. That's the reality of who founded NASA. Simple to search that up.
There's a lot of funky stuff going on.
Who
here.
are the founders of NASA? We got Ronald Hubbard, right? Ron Hubbard, founder of Scientology. Walt Disney, a cartoon producer. Werner von Braun, a actual Nazi. Okay. Jack Parsons, right? And an occultist, and Aleister Crowley, the most wicked man in the world. These are the founders of NASA.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I don't think anyone knows this. The
Everyone knows
founders
this. Not everyone. A lot of people know this. Those are the
are
founders.
the general. I can guarantee you, my buddies have no clue.
So the reason why your buddies have no clue is because none of that is true. Like I said, it was founded in 1958. Congress would be the ones probably to get the most credit for founding it. But then to go through each of those, like right on the fly there, you don't know that, right? That's not your thing. You're good at comedy. You're not good at knowing who founded NASA.
Right.
L. Ron Hubbard, he founded Scientology about 1954. He didn't have anything
Right.
with NASA. And he was really
So he had zero involvement. You're saying he had absolutely no involvement with NASA.
nothing.
Yep, I see that. I
Disney-
see that. Now this is Google.
These links.
This
here,
is off of Google,
these links
or
go
like
to- these are just the Wikipedia articles, but search up however you want. These people had no involvement with NASA.
I feel like I saw something with Walt Disney though.
So yeah,
where
well,
like he either helped.
yeah, here
or-
Disney in 1955 did a video with Werner von Braun. So this was 3 years before NASA was founded. But it wasn't involving NASA. It was just something that he did to show some animations for Werner, right? So
Now Werner was a Nazi, correct?
he was, and then he moved to the United States, and in 1946 became a devout Christian in Texas, repented from all of his Nazi things. And it's ironic that Dave talks about that, because Dave has been in videos with Eric Dubay, who is literally a big fan of the mustache guy. Also, you'll find a lot of the flat earthers are of that same agreement. Yeah, it's weird. Caleb Davis on TikTok, huge fan of the Mustache Man. You've got some people that they won't overtly say it, but they're like adjacent to it. So if you go to Austin Witzett's X feed, you'll see lots of talk about World War II German leader. Like it goes on who really likes that guy. So for Dave, for Dave to bring that up is really interesting, because Eric Dubay is he's the main promoter, the most well-known early YouTuber promoting Flat Earth, and he's overtly in favor of the mustache guy. I don't like to say it. YouTube doesn't.
No. I understand that too. That's another whole subject.
Yeah.
Now the only thing with Listen, I get this part. Like me personally, I don't buy everything on Google or Wikipedia because you can go on Wikipedia and look at me and they'll lie about how much I make. Jim Brewer's worth. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're
I
worth
didn't make
more than
anything
that,
close to anything.
right?
You know what I mean? So Wikipedia, anyone
Oh,
could go in there and write anything. And I'm not saying none of this is fact or whatever, but this doesn't do a whole lot for me only because I don't believe that world anymore
these
because I've
things-
seen them lie.
Yeah. Well, these things you can confirm elsewhere. And it's
Okay.
super easy because Jack Parsons did work for JPL, which did eventually get rolled into NASA, the Jet Propulsion Lab, but he was fired from it in 1944 because of his occult beliefs, which you'd probably have trouble with today. But in 1944, they kicked him out because of his extracurricular.
What was
stuff.
his occult beliefs?
So
do you know?
he was friends with Aleister Crowley. He did some weird ritualistic things. He was off into some strange stuff in the stuff that showed up in the 60s. He was doing that in the 40s and 30s, right? So
Jack Parsons, what you're saying, according to this, had nothing to do with NASA.
well, he was dead in 1952. NASA was founded 6 years later.
Gotcha.
So Dave claimed
yeah.
there's no denying this. He was dead in 1952, and Dave claimed that a dead person founded NASA 6 years after they died.
Gotcha.
I don't know what you'd call that. I'd call that a lie. Same thing. Aleister Crowley died in 1947, 11 years before NASA was founded. How could Aleister have founded NASA? He couldn't. So Dave either just is like, I don't give a damn. I'm going to lie to everybody so that I can sell my app. Or he's just not caring one bit about being truthful.
Now, what do you know much about Jack Parsons? Like what he was involved with before he passed away?
Well, before 1944, yeah, he was into some really strange stuff, definitely.
Okay.
But they kicked him out for that reason.
Yeah, they didn't want him in NASA, or what was going to be NASA eventually.
And Disney, they're talking to me about rockets in 55. So their documentary at Werner von Braun. Okay.
So
let me ask
Werner,
you. Okay, go ahead.
Vern is the only one that actually did work at NASA. He started two years after it was founded, and he was he was at a pretty high position. But this was quite a while after he had become a Christian, a devout Christian, all the rest of his life, and so he was definitely had done away with all of the stuff that he did in Germany.
Well, that's I do find it interesting that a lot of the Nazis were brought here during that time, especially if that's who we were fighting. And there is this weird era. I don't know if this has much to do with that, but there is this weird kind of hush. No one really brings it up or talks about. When they do talk about it, it's just kind of like, we just kind of, it's no big deal. Let's not worry about that.
Well, I don't think
so.
It's pretty well known.
Yes, but it's not like really looked at through the very intensely, if that makes sense. A lot of things are. Things come and go. Like, for instance, this has off the when it comes to NASA, what do you think their involvement was with the moon?
Well, we both think that we went to the moon. I know that that's something that you don't, and maybe that's another discussion we can have, Jim, because I have some very interesting evidence that definitely points towards the fact that we went towards the moon, that relies on physics and not having to listen to NASA and things like that.
Land on it, not towards. We always go towards the moon, but landing on the moon.
Yeah, no, I believe we landed on the moon, and my evidence in that is based on the physics of what happened when they were there and analysing that. There's many good scientific papers that analyse a lot of the videos and stuff to not only see if they were real, but to see what happened. For instance, there's a famous video called the Grand Prix, where the moon buggy's driving backwards and forwards in front of the camera. And the interesting thing about that is you can look at the dust coming up from the wheels behind it, and it's forming something called a rooster tail, which is like, waves of the regolith coming up from the wheels. And it does a very specific thing that it keeps going. It doesn't fall down like we would expect on Earth. It doesn't get, affected by any atmosphere. And when you analyze what the particles are doing, it shows that they're in a place where there's no atmosphere and there's a lower acceleration towards the ground. So I think that based on the preponderance of evidence, we did go to the moon.
And the excuse for not going back is
Congress.
Money, really?
Those bastards in Congress stopped paying them. They're like, no more money.
Like, here's the truth, right? Russia did everything first. Russia got in space first. Russia sent a person up first. Russia were beating America's ass in the space race, right? So America needed to do something because they were getting whooped. They were getting embarrassed, right? So they went to the moon. They put all of their money and everything they had into going to the moon. But then once they'd done that, there was, okay, we've done that. We don't need to do it again. Let's put money into other things and forget about space. And they took, NASA, if you look at the relative amount of money that NASA got in their budget back then compared to now, even though it's less, because money is, worth less now, the amount relative is much more than what they get now. That's the main reason, is money.
So you think we had the technology to make a phone call from the moon?
It wasn't a phone call, Jim. It was a phone linked to a radio signal.
And the radio signal, we were able to speak to someone on the moon, but yet we've never done it again, and we never speak ever again from that far away. That's bizarre to me.
Well, we'll see what happens when this good times ago there recently. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, we've sent video from the moon back in future missions.
Yeah, I have a hard
time. But
time.
That's definitely another discussion, and it is an interesting one, Jim. And I do find maybe the moon discussion more interesting than flat Earth because there's less stupidity around it, frankly.
You might be able to find a moon landing denier that we could talk to on your show. That might,
yeah.
I'm
Jim, if you want to host a debate, we'll happily do that for you.
Sit back and watch.
I'd have to do research, but there's a lot of things I don't buy that whatsoever. We don't have the technology, we don't have the money. There's a lot of doesn't make a lot of sense going on there.
Well, we can certainly get into that, but right now, I think it's important to focus on something that flat Earth is very different to Moonland because it's so stupid, right?
Yeah, sure.
And one of the big things that flat Earthers and Dave especially push is trying to ignore the simple evidence of the fact that boats disappear as they go over the horizon. Dave presented you this video. Let me just get the audio up.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so Dave played you this video.
But as we zoom in here, we're zooming in and we're taking our angle and we're increasing our optical size. And as we increase, all of a sudden we realize, oh, look, there is a boat there, right? There is a boat there. And we zoomed it back in. It's always there. Now, my finger can't hide that boat, but if I keep my finger here, as the boat gets smaller, it can hide the whole boat. And the boat just disappears into the horizon, but we think it's going below the curve. It's still there.
See, now, what Dave did was he started talking to you about how boats disappear over the horizon bottom first. And then he showed you a video of a boat that didn't disappear bottom first, just it seemed to disappear in totality because it's a small boat and the camera's sensor wasn't powerful enough to pick it up. The way we fix that is by using bigger boats. This is from someone called Dazza, the cameraman, who used a P1000. He was looking at these relatively big tankers off the coast of Australia. And flat earthers claim that, and it's Dave's claim there, that you can zoom a boat back in. Once it's gone over the horizon, just zoom in and there it is again. And this video debunks that because the boats are big enough to see. So what Dazza does is he takes a screenshot. You saw that red marker there. He takes a screenshot of the boat when it's zoomed out. And then in the video, he zooms in. So as it plays forward here, you'll see him zoom it in. One sec. Right. Yeah, so he's zoomed in and he's taken a second screenshot. And then what he does is he compares the screenshot. So the bit at the bottom there is from when the camera was zoomed out and he took a screenshot, and the bit above it is from when it zoomed in. And what it's showing is that zooming in did nothing. It didn't bring that boat back. The same amount of the boat is visible and always has been. All zoom does is it makes what's there bigger in the camera. It's like cropping an image, and just looking at that part. Dave claimed that you can zoom a boat that has gone over the horizon back. That once it's gone out to sea really far, all you need to do is zoom and it comes back. But he was sneaky and he showed you a small boat that the camera was not able to pick up when it was zoomed out. So when he zoomed in, it looked like magic, that boat appeared, but it didn't. Just the camera could actually pick it up. But if you use boats that are big enough, you see that no amount of zoom in will ever bring those boats back. And the question we have to ask is, where's the rest of that boat on the left? Because it's not sinking, it's not underwater. It is about 6 miles further out than the boat in front, which means that it is further over the horizon, over the curve of Earth. So the two options here are either the boat is sinking or it's physically hidden by the curve of the Earth. And no amount of zooming will ever bring that back, no matter what Dave says to you. And it's a case of a flat earther lying.
Sure. So the boat on the left, you're saying, just so I understand, is over the curvature.
Yeah, it's a lot further away, yeah.
Got you.
So it's two boats, one is closer, one is further. And the one that's further away, you can only see the top of the mast. They're the same type of boat, so you can see what it is visible. But the one that's further away, there's physically something blocking it. There's something in the way. In this case, it's the horizon, the curve of the Earth. And as the two screenshots show, no amount of zooming in on something that has gone over the curve of the Earth will ever bring it back. Dave shows you a boat that's too small so that he can use some camera trickery and make it look like it's appearing, which is dishonest because it's not how it works.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. See, now some people I'm sure would say, well, yeah, that's easily, easily you can put that as a screenshot and kind of edit it together and blah, blah, blah. And I would imagine that's what a flat earther would argue about with you.
Yeah,
like, well,
and that's why Dazza, this guy, anyone that contacts him, the person that did this, he will happily give them the raw footage, the unedited, and many people have. His details are in the description of this video. If you just go to Dazza the cameraman on YouTube and look for boats over the horizon, you can contact him via that video and he will give you the raw video to show that he's not done any fancy editing or trickery. All he's done is take a screenshot when it's zoomed out and a screenshot when it's zoomed in to demonstrate the fact that zooming in does not and never will bring something back that has gone over the horizon.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's just another case of Dave being dishonest by not telling the whole story in the hope that you're not going to look too far into it. Toon, what have you got?
All right. This is the book I used at university here, Foundations of Electromagnetic. This word here is theory, right? Electromagnetics is theory. And let me show you a little bit here. We got this is for a little prep here. Coulomb's law. This deals with the electrostatics. All these things is what makes your phones work, what makes your computers work. But this is important here. One of the things about Coulomb's law is that repulsive for like charges and attractive for unlike charges. That's super important. All it means is that if two things are pluses, they'll repulse. Two things are minuses, they'll repulse. And if they're a plus and a minus, they'll attract each other. An electromagnetic field right here, something that's in an electromagnetic field that has a positive charge will move toward the negative end of that field. And opposite, something that has a negative charge will move toward the positive end of the field. So I'll play.
On flat Earth, down is down.
All right, you heard that for a second. I'll share my screen so you can see then what he was saying.
So on flat Earth, down is down, right? On globe Earth, down is every direction towards the center while you're spinning, while you're orbiting, while you're flying through an infinite space vacuum. So that's a little weird. But there's a thing called electrostatics. This is not a theory. Electrostatics is everything.
Electrostatics is a theory.
The air you breathe, the food you eat, your body, yourself, rocks, everything. Everything has an electrostatic charge. The Earth has a negative charge to it, measurable, testable, repeatable, provable, negative charge to it. And the sky is a positive charge. So anything above the Earth, hey, by the way, Jim.
He interrupted himself. He did not say anything above the Earth. He didn't finish that. He was going to say, I think, as I've heard it before, that anything above the Earth will get pushed down by this field, but according to actual electrostatic theory, it depends on the charge.
This is the most technical we're going to get through the whole thing, but it's really easy.
Okay.
It's really easy.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep it easy. So we can test that. So we can take things like I got these helium balloons here left over from a party, and there's just a button right here, and it's floating like 2 inches above the ground. And this line, that wire goes to a Van de Graaff generator, and we're going to introduce a higher positive charge to it. So when we add a positive charge to it, all of a sudden, it's more attracted to the Earth. Am I changing the gravity, or am I changing the electrical charge to it?
All right. So you can stop presenting me. So as I covered briefly, a thing that has even a slight negative charge, the slightest negative charge will be accelerated toward the positive end of a field. The more the charge, the more the acceleration, the harder it will accelerate toward that end. So it's proportional to the charge. Now, he is saying that everything always will go down because there's a positive charge up high and a negative charge down low. That doesn't match electromagnetics, electrostatics at all. This is just things that he has said. He doesn't understand. It comes from other people that are just fabricating these things. So if you really wanted to, if that was the case, you just need a cat at every construction site, because a cat will put a negative charge on things. So you rub a cat on your giant pile of bricks that you'd want to bring to the top of your building, and it'll float up. And then you get to the top, and you grab it, and you connect a wire to it to go to the ground, so that it now again will have regular pull down. I don't know.
It's going to be so much cheaper.
Yeah, you'd never have a crane anymore. It'd be so easy. But so all of this is his dismissing of gravity was by saying it's a theory, and then he brought to replace it something that's a theory. In science, a theory is something that's well understood and thoroughly backed by lots of experiments. That's what a theory is. It's not a guess. And we kind of switch that around, and they're like, oh, I have a theory as to why that happens. I have a guess as to why that happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in science, theory is well established things. So gravity is well established. Mass attracts mass. This has been confirmed in numerous experiments where you take something, you let it swivel freely, and then you put mass near it, and it'll cause it to twist. Easy way to confirm
Simple,
that.
yeah.
It's a
Simplicity.
test is very particular experiment, but people that are careful can do it.
You never find DIRTH testing anything.
Well, my brain hurts, but I gotta say, Craig and MC, I loved your passion, I loved your points, and I loved your rebuttal. Not rebuttal. Your is that what it's called?
Debunks, I think, is the word you're looking for.
We'll call it debunks. I really wish. So Dave has never gone on with the two of you?
No. As far as I'm aware, he has only ever done one proper live debate, and that was against the guy called Professor Dave. He did that because he thought Professor Dave didn't know anything. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that I spent a week preparing Professor Dave for that debate.
And can you watch that debate? Are we able to watch that debate?
Just go to it's one of the most popular videos on Professor Dave's channel. It's got millions of views. And it's an absolute destruction of Dave. because and what you're, if you watch that, Jim, what you'll see is the exact same presentation that he gave to you here today. He doesn't change what he does. He says the same lies over and over and over, hoping that even though it's been debunked, the next person won't realize it's been debunked, and he can just tell the lie to the next person.
He's relying on people's, not knowing the background. That's how he does it.
So, in your opinion, just your opinions, nothing else, his motive?
Money.
If you want to put it out there. Money, money, money.
Yeah.
Download the app, make money.
Can we play you a song?
I don't know if we're allowed to play it, but of course you can.
Well, you're not going to get copyrighted for it because it was created by MC Toon. And it's a song, it's about Dave. And I think if we're about to finish, I think maybe it's a good song to quickly play you because it's funny.
Okay, so this is MC Toon. You wrote this about Flat Earth Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of. Okay. Oh my God, Craig's losing himself.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
How do you two meet, by the way?
Doing YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, we started our channels on the same day.
Yeah.
Really?
6 years ago, just over 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Here it is.
How long is it?
Yo, listen.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
It's your boy Birch in the hip out. Plan so slick, gonna make your pockets 10,000. I got an app that's gonna change your life. But before you download, let me slice through the stripe. They say the earth's a globe, but I beg to differ. I'll make you believe, I'll make you shiver. Spectroscopy needs a container, that's my claim. I've got no clue, I just hang my head in shame. Yo, listen up, it's your boy Dirt H in the his house. That's the horse house. Got a plan so slick, gonna make your pockets 10,000. I got an app that's gonna change your life. But before you download, let me slice through the strife. They say the earth's a globe, but I beg to differ. I'll make you believe, I'll make you shiver. Spectroscopy needs a container, that's my claim. I've got no clue, I just hang my head in shame. But turn up. That's the lie I'm preaching. So my app is what I'm seeking. Big challenge, try your luck. While I'm laughing, it ain't a buck. I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
Flat Earth, that's the lie I'm preaching. Sell my app, it's what I'm seeking. Big challenge, try your luck. While I'm laughing, pocket in a buck. I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer.
Big Dice is a scammer. Talk about offered a free trip, dangled it in my face, but I won't go. It's not about thrift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer. I'm a scammer. Yo, Dave Weiss is a scammer. Talk about Antarctica, that icy place. Offered a free trip, dangled it in my face. But I won't go, it's not about grift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer, offered a free trip, dangled it in my face. But I won't go, it's not about grift. I'm staying home, gotta protect my grift. I'm a scammer, the scammer, play the game. Gonna hustle hard, gonna rise to fame. But remember one thing, it's all a ploy to make that green, I'll be your decoy. So if you want to join, come take my hand. But beware the tricks, it's all planned. TITRH, that's my name. In the world of scams, I got the fame.
I'm a scammer.
He says that he's a scammer all the time, Dave. Those are just, Jim, sorry. Those are his own words. And I think it's very important. We were going to remind everyone that if anyone that because of watching your show downloaded his app, not only should you delete that immediately, but please change all of your passwords. You are in danger.
If they were the same password.
Yeah.
Got you. Got you. Well, I appreciate everything you had to put out there. I appreciate all your debunks and your message. And then maybe, just maybe, one day we'll get you all together, although I know you both highly doubt it.
We'd love to.
I'm in.
I know. Craig McNeil, I mean, you officially have put it out there. I'd love to do it with him. MC Toon, clearly you're not walking away, and clearly you are 100% confident that he's not the real deal. So with that said, thank you guys. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jim.
I know without a fact, a couple
I'm
of
going
my
to watch Titan AE again now. Going to watch you get blown up by an energy creature.
I want to see, Jim, I want to see you do a stage dive off that desk.
I might. I'm a little too old for that. But, well, I hope to catch up with you guys soon in the future. And I really want to hear about the Antarctica. MC, you're going there?
Yes. Yep. I'm still fundraising, but I'm over enough that I'm committed. If anybody wants to help, go fund me. Just search for Antarctica. You'll find me.
Okay. Craig, you're not going there, right?
No, unfortunately, I'm disabled due to my time in the military, so it wouldn't really be the best for me to go. But I will be doing plenty of reporting on it and helping fundraising for the guys that are going. And I'm very excited about what's going to come out of it, which is a bunch of nut earth from Flat Earth.
All right. Sounds good. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Take care, guys. Super funny and very charming. Very charming. I cannot deny that whatsoever with Craig McNeil and MC Toon. So there you go. I'm not the one to say either. You guys have all your information. You have all your information. So take it for what it's worth. You've clearly heard what Craig McNeil had to put out there. You know his YouTube page. You clearly see what MC Toon put out there and what he said. You see the areas that really bothered them, and not bothered them where they were like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, so we have to debunk that whole thing. Do I have questions about NASA? 100%. That's besides the whole point. It's really about flat Earth. Or, flat Earth is getting a lot of ground, and again, at the end of the day, I got too much to worry about. But from MC's perspective, he put out there, this is a security issue. Download this and security, you guys are getting scammed. That is MC's claim. That's, I believe, Craig's claim to a point as well, too. So that is, it's out there. We had one side out there. Now we put the other side out there. And I think that's only fair. I'm not going to lie. I want to hang out with Craig. He looks like he's fun as hell to hang out with. My head might hurt after talk to him a little bit. He'd have to really try to explain things to me. He's definitely, I hung out with a lot of nerds when I was younger. I really enjoyed the nerds because they, for the most part, a nerd, they don't have like mean intentions. They're just, they're on a whole different plane. My friend Dave, who was on here when Flat Earth Dave was on, I shouldn't say Dave's a nerd, but he's always thinking. He's always like thinking. I always see him like his brain is always moving, and he's one of the nicest human beings that I can have around me in my life. So I did really enjoy Craig. He seems really fun. I'd like to, if I go to Scotland next year, I hope I can connect with him. So with that said, there you go. You guys take up your own opinions. I already know the messages are going to be nutso. Oh my gosh. What'd you think, Mike?
That was good. It was interesting.
It was interesting.
It's nice to get both sides of it.
Correct. You
know,
and that's why even when I had Flat Earth Dave on, I didn't know. I don't know anyone in this world that does things like Craig or MC. So all I knew was real life people. The engineers. Now, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Dave was very like, we gotta do that. Okay, but I still want to have my two buddies on, no matter what. I want these two angles on there, and I'm not saying he was hiding from it. I'm just saying he's very rapid fire, and it's really where I'm at in life. We film the podcast maybe 4 or 5 in a day, and then I'm off doing the road, and I'm with my family, and people are coming up to me now going, "Oh my God, that last podcast," and I don't even know what's airing. Sometimes I can tell by the comments, like if they, like I knew when Flat Earth Dave was on, it's like you had the comment, "You freak, how dare you have," like, oh, okay, the Flat Earth guy was on. Or like, yeah, man, whatever. You can tell by comments. But yeah, I don't take a lot of time in thinking about this, but it is something that people are really getting into. This is an incredible time in our lives, all the information coming out from every angle. So whatever it is, I hope you resonate with it well. I really want to thank Craig McNeil coming on, and also MC Toon, and putting their perspectives, their what they would call facts, and all that out there. So thank you. Is the Bruniverse flat, or is the Bruniverse a sphere? I'll leave that up to you guys. All right, I'll see you next week on the Bruniverse.
Take a look around and what do you see? Mark the date down tonight, we'll make it history.
Margot wanted to ask you a question real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you really thought now that they're gone.
Yeah. Well, I think, all right, I'll tell you all the different things that went on in my head. I didn't like, my red flag was up a little bit with Flat Earth Dave and his download the app. He was really just selling the app.
Yeah.
He was also very fast, rapid fire. I didn't, it really doesn't give you much time, where these guys were very,
Yeah, they'd break it down for you.
they break it down for you.
Totally.
And I liked that a lot. So I do, there are little parts of me about Flat Earth Dave where I'm like, and they made very good points, which I thought too. I'm like, you're doing this full time? That means you're making money. You're making a lot of money on this subject. And these guys too, they're YouTubers. I'm not sure. Does Craig, all he do is debunk flat earthers?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's like, are they
Yeah, he's probably making money from his YouTube channel.
Of course.
Mike, didn't you and me talk after Flat Earth Dave was on, and we were like, okay, if he has this many people using his app,
$600,000 just from the people that bought the app, and that's not including the subscription if there are people paying for that.
God.
That's
nuts.
And that's what I thought about. I'm like, dude, it's $500,000. It's $500,000. Right.
Yeah.
I'll quit my job too and spit that shit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely not, because this is my job. So no.
No, but you know what?
You know what I mean,
Mike. I cheer you on if that's what if either one of you found something to spit out, make a $250,000, $500,000. I mean,
I don't know. I just couldn't take advantage of people like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't either. I can't live a lie. I really can't live a lie.
Yeah.
Some people can. I can't. The NASA stuff, I have a lot of questions about.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the moon landing whatsoever. Now that I
No,
look,
and I don't believe that we didn't have enough money to do it again. That's fucking bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's
so
not a good excuse.
so that's where I'm like, And is Dave the easiest target to debunk the whole thing? Like, do they allow Dave? You know, in this fucking world, you don't know what's going on. Do they allow Dave to run wild with this, knowing it's setting up the whole movement?
Right.
And when there's money involved, you don't know what's going on. You really don't.
That's true.
It could be the greatest 3-ring circus you've ever seen in your lifetime. You know?
Yeah.
Just another distraction.
Another great distraction. That's all. So at the end of the day, I did like them, and I'm sure it's going to cause a lot of, Dave's going to be like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, dude, you want to argue with him? Fucking argue with him. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I think that it's cool. Like, I think that not a lot of podcasts do this where you're offering, most podcasts take a stance on one side or the other, whether it be flat earth or the moon or politics or whatever. And I think that it would be cool if
Me too.
This became a place that also, like, we can hear both sides and we're not making a judgment. We're just presenting like two different sides' opinions.
And that's all we did. And it was great.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so too. I liked it.
Yeah, in the middle of that too, I just want to, I forgot what I was going to say. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what I like too. Just put out both sides. Hey, I'm not saying which side is right. I'm not saying I'm believing one side. I got questions there. I got questions there. And at the end of the day, I'm not really, I don't know if I really give a shit.
Right. Same.
Who gives a shit? It's not going to affect anything going on in my life right here, right now. So
Fight the fly.